Talks to Himself, a novel by Jeff Wright, narrated by the author. Chapter 9, The Ninth Echo. The old ones say you can only carry so many names in one lifetime, but I was collecting them like scalps. Names whispered, sometimes yelled like a war cry to make me feel good, sometimes bad. Spoken by passing trees, sometimes by old lakes. Snappy flickers from firewood when it burned. Some names called by mean old nuns under a bated breath. Some were given free as sunshine, some I gave myself when thoughts were cloudy. Some were never spoken aloud, only felt in a way a loon's cry folds into the lake and disappears, a memory. By this chapter of my walk, the names were heavier, like dragging home a nice buck after a good hunt. Only it didn't feel good, what I was hanging on to. Not the ones I wore, but the names I wore inside my head when no one was around. Like stupid Indian, red savages, or sinners, all of them, whatever that means. One name kept being whispered in my right ear, no matter how I was being mistreated, and especially when I was being punished. That name was good medicine, Minomuskiki. That name wrapped around me in dreams like a warm patch blanket my grandma made me. Even when I doubted myself, especially when I doubted myself, that name kept whispering, "Remember me." I remembered. It was during a spring fasting I had to do for a vision quest that Uncle Looks Within. Get the way to Wijik appeared again, not in a body, but in a place between walking and sleeping. That thin place where the spirit Manadog comes close and wears no mask, but you could still feel his breath. He sat cross-legged near a fire that wasn't there, but I felt the heat just the same. His shadow danced behind me in full woodland regalia, like it wanted to talk too. Nagani bimado de jawin, he said, live forward. Not like those who only remember pain and call it tradition. I didn't speak. I never interrupted his teachings. Words from him were like dew on early leaves. You didn't rush it. You just listened to what they had to say before the sun dried their tongues. You've worn that name before that you hear in whispers, he said. It is the same one the stars know you as. That name you buried before the oak stick cracked you on your head. I touched the spot, still sore in my upstairs. That boy, he continued, learned to escape pain by leaving his body, but the man you are must return to it, live inside it, heal with it. I wanted to say I was trying, that I prayed and fasted. I listened for signs outside and in front of me. But he knew already what I would say before I could get it out of my mouth. You don't need more Mishomasin's answers, he said. You need to sit long enough with the ones you already carry. Let them bloom like wild flowers you forgot you planted. Then he reached into his flannel shirt pocket. Was it a bear claw or was it roots from a plant? I couldn't tell. And then he pulled something out wrapped in deer hide, placing it in my hand. For the road ahead, he said, nodding once. The fire in its warming presence flickered sideways, and the dream released me. I woke with tears and laughter, and an odd knowing that something had changed. I did not open the bundle that day, not yet, not until the stars winked at me again to encourage me to do so, to be so. Chapter 10, The Ice Mirror Lake. I paddled quietly now, my shadow and I, not to avoid being seen, but out of respect for this lake, this land. The water held its breath as we passed, the trees leaning just slightly forward to listen. Somewhere between one breath and the next, the shoreline melted. I don't remember landing on any shore, only that I now sat presently inside a wigwam with him again. I didn't know what I was anymore. Boy, man, spirit, breath, somewhere in between. Looks within had come again the night before, or maybe I had gone to him. It's hard to say. Those places don't have road signs or posts. He had spoken in a few words, but each one rang like an echo in the stone walls of my bones, rattling them back and forth like a broken gate no longer serving its purpose, no longer keeping inside what must be let out. You are not walking away from the world's broken fence, Niji, friend. You are walking beyond it, as it really is. He placed his hand on my chest where the drumbeat pounded my own life journey, feeling like a whispered rhythm. It was like he woke up something inside my beating heart, completing the song that I had somehow forgot. I sat real quiet, real still in my thoughts. I heard a crackle of a fire interrupting my silence, and a smell of cedar oil seemed to be released at the moment into the night. The trees around us took in a deep breath, in and out, and I hear myself, without words, without form, just the knowing that I am, and I always have been. The stars above and within simultaneously winked at me, like old wise eyes confirming this one identity. Not judging, just witnessing. They remembered me for me, and in that moment I remembered them too. It was no longer something someone gave me, but something that rose up from the soil of my soul. It sang itself to me and as me, and when I walked from then on, a slow beat when I sat still to rest, and a quicker beat when I moved towards my purpose here. Good medicine, that's what the old ones called me, not because I healed others with plants or chants or fire talk, but because I remembered the way home. And when others forget, I then receive my gift to move in and help them to remember where and what they are. I could now sit with others in silence long enough for them to hear the winds speaking to them again like they talked to me, clearing the path for them that was always there. We are never alone, no matter where we appear to be, or anything that appears to happen to us. That's what the fire told me. That's what looks within. Gewita Wigajik showed me before he disappeared into the smoke one last time, smiling like an old man does, with a twinkle in his eye, steady with each moccasin foot shuffling away almost like a dance at a powwow. When the mighty heartbeat of Mother Earth pounded, so did each of his steps move. Like the very surface covered in dirt, trees, and lakes was a sheath over a big drum. Sometimes I don't feel like talking. I just sit here with the trees and the winds and remember how to breathe like it does, slowly and sacred. Each breath in and out is a ceremony, each silence in a thought, a song. I have grown older in body, but younger in spirit. The more I forget what they taught me in the school of bricks and crosses, the more I remember the teachings of the pine needles and the honeycombs, the loon songs and the rush of falling snow. I once feared death. I may have even welcomed it at that school of ravens and black regalia. Now I see it only as another long walk to where stars are camped in a ring of firelight. There the ancestors laugh, recalling that I thought it was all real. They say, "You made it up, Minomuskiki," laughing with me, not at me. As someone passes a bowl of something warm to each of us around this campfire in the sky. Maybe it's berries, maybe it's corn soup, maybe it's a song I had long forgotten. I take it all in and pass it back to them. Megwitch, thank you, I say, because everything is good here and has always been there too. I do not end here, none of us does. We return always to where we begin, but with eyes wide open like a baby in his Dinkanagan baby cradle, but with hearts wide open too, enough to hold the thunder at night and the heat of the morning sun, the sorrow in the wild flowers beckoning us to never take ourselves so serious. And I, good medicine, talk to myself still, but now I understand. Every word I whisper is heard by the one who dreamed me into being. In fact, we have always been that one and the same. Gigawa Bamin Minawa. I will see you again. Closing poem. The one who listened. There was once a man who had a great medicine. They say he went where he needed, following the beat of a mighty drum that resided both in his heart and that of others. The earth listened when he walked, they say, but maybe it was he who listened to his drum beat first. He rose each day with the sun, not to command it, but to greet it like a brother. He sang to the water before he drank. He gave thanks to the four-legged before it sacrificed to his hunger. Kichimenetu walked beside him, but never behind him, never ahead. They were always shoulder to shoulder, laughing sometimes, silent in others. They say he was just a man, but I say he was a mirror, a fire, a feather in the wind, a whisper of the Great Spirit's breath. And now, as I sit under the same sky, older bones, wrinkly face, I remember I was that man, and so were you, and so we shall be again. The ones who listen, the ones who walk with Creator, the ones who carry the medicine of stillness into a noisy world. And that completes the narration of Talks to Himself. Miigwech.